Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Monday, November 18th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith back with us, ready to talk Monday NHL, a six-pack. One of my favorite things in life, six-packs. And we've got a Monday NHL card with 6 games on tap, and looking forward to talking about them in just a moment. We'll look back, of course, as we always do on the previous day. The Sunday card was it was a damn good one for me. It ended up going pretty well for the most part. We started with Carolina team total over 3.5 against St. Louis. They get the job done by a score of 4-1. I believe that is now 6 straight games at home for Carolina where they have scored at least 4 goals. So, you know, it's the team total over 3.5 just continues to be probably the best way to bet Carolina, because in the majority of their victories, they have been able to score 4. They do so again. My goodness, how incredibly tremendous at this point in time for Carolina is moving to the country, gonna meet me, Marty Necas. Marty Necas is absolutely phenomenal right now for the Carolina Hurricanes. 2 more goals last night and an assist, a 3-point game for Marty Necas in the victory over St. Louis. 2 goals and 2 assists. He factored in on all 4 goals, 4 points for Marty Necas. He is now on this incredible point streak right now. What a start to the year for him. Now sitting at 11 goals, 19 assists, 30 points in 17 games. I'm shocked how nobody is talking about what Martin Necas is doing right now for the Carolina Hurricanes. It's just been an unbelievable start to his season. He's been an offensive machine. It does seem like everything he's throwing at the net is going in. Every play he's making to pass to a teammate is going in. And that's just the kind of season it's been. But you don't get 30 points in 17 games without being in good position, without putting yourself in scoring areas. And he seems to be doing that on a regular basis for the Carolina Hurricanes. Very impressed with the way they continue to play. There's no question. And Marty Necas has been the catalyst for it. How about those Capitals? They just keep on trucking, man. A 5-2 victory over Vegas. I know Alex had them as a best bet yesterday on the money line. They get the job done in Vegas. A tough place to win. Only, I believe, the second home loss this season for the Golden Knights at T-Mobile Arena. Alex Ovechkin, 39 years old. And yes, at this time last year, we're wondering, is he shot? Is he done? Is the best days of Alex Ovechkin behind him because of that surprisingly slow start? And I mean slow start is being kind about the way Alex Ovechkin came out of the gate last year. But this year it's been the complete opposite. Absolutely phenomenal start to his year. A hat trick last night in the win against Vegas. What can you say about Ovi? He has clearly shown that last year, the slow start was not indicative of a decline, not indicative of any sort of, over the hill moment or reckoning for him, I guess you could say. And he still ended up with 65 points last year in 79 games with the 31 goals. Well, he's going to smash the 31 goals he scored last year into oblivion, if he keeps this up. 13 goals, 10 assists, 23 points already for Alex Ovechkin in just 17 games. More than a point per game player, closing in on Wayne Gretzky's record, getting closer and closer. He's now inside less than 30 now from tying it. I believe 29 away from tying the record. So he is closing in on that record at a rapid pace and a big performance again from the great 8, as Joe Beninati, the great play-by-play voice of the Capitals, often calls him. 5-2 for the Washington Capitals in that one. The New York Rangers start their road trip with a very sound, solid road game against the Seattle Kraken. Not pretty. It was pretty even. It was a low-event game. But the New York Rangers get a 2-0 win. And how about back-to-back shutouts for not Igor Shesterkin, but Jonathan Quick with back-to-back shutout wins for the New York Rangers. And don't forget how capable he showed to be last year in a backup role for the Rangers. When Igor Shesterkin was struggling early in the season, we're basically running it back, it looks like, with the Rangers this season. Igor, some cracks in the armor, not playing at his absolute best, and it's Jonathan Quick that's actually outplaying him a little bit. Now, last year, we remember everyone was getting kind of worried about Igor Shesterkin, and sure enough, we get to the All-Star break. He rounds into form, and then second half in playoffs last year, he was lights out. I am not worried about Igor. I am not. Sometimes maybe he's just a slow starter habitually, and we're going to see that year in and year out, where October and November, he's not as good as he is in, February, March, and April and beyond. So, but right now, Jonathan Quick is, hey, Igor, you need some time to get your game on track? I'm here for you. That's basically what Jonathan Quick is doing right now for Rangers. Great performance again from him, and they get the 2-0 shutout win against Seattle. And then 5-3 Nashville. Much needed win for Nashville. I mean, they needed a win badly. The road trip's been tough on them. Colorado and Edmonton, they lose a couple tough ones in overtime. Shut out by Calgary. And speaking of being shut out in your last game, the system play, relieved to see it back on track, at least for one day, because the system play has taken some hits here the last few games prior to last night, where first period over and full game over hasn't been that automatic ticket casher the last few games that it was earlier in the season. But we get back on track with the Ice Guys system play last night. Shutout loss, first period over, full game over, 2-0 sweep with the system play. Both legs of the over by Fekta and the system play last night get it done over first period, over full game, as the Predators get the 5-3 victory last night against Nashville. And a nice relief, too, for Nashville to see Steven Stamkos get one but not two goals in that game. Marchessault show up, had a pretty solid game as well. The high-priced talent that they brought in here, I think for both of them, it was one of their better games as a Nashville Predator this season. Marchessault and especially Steven Stamkos. And that is positive for the Nashville Predators moving forward, and hoping that they'll see more of that to get them out of the doldrums of this slow start. But you talk about desperation, like a much-needed win. It's not, sometimes we overreact to this shit. When you got to comment and do this show daily, sometimes you just overreact about certain things, and it is November 18th. Some people might think kind of crazy to say that's such a huge win, but it really was for Nashville. This road trip continues to go along. They had lost some tough ones. They got shut out to Calgary the last game. They needed something good to happen, and it did for the Predators last night. Alex, your thoughts on what we saw on Sunday?
Yeah, it was a senior Sunday, wasn't it? You got Steven Stamkos with 2 goals, Ovi with the hat trick, Quick with a shutout. Nice to see the guys that we grew up with, coming through.
It was geriatric dominance in the National Hockey League yesterday.
Indeed.
Right.
It was good to see, and certainly for the Washington Capitals, right? Like, that's the storyline of the season, and as of right now, and to see Ovechkin playing lights out, being the superstar that he's been for the previous 18 years of his career. And now Washington on top of that, winning games too. I hope he goes on and breaks the record this season, because it would have been really sad and anticlimactic if this team had gone through the drop that we were kind of anticipating and had been losing games, and then, here the Capitals losing 6-1, but Ovechkin's now 10 goals away from the record. That would have been depressing to kind of hear night in and night out. The fact that Carberry has this team energized and never quitting in games, playing full 60-minute efforts, and jumping out early in games as well, that as hints to their records looking at the first period over, something we'll talk about a little later. So this is a Capitals team that's in great form, but to have their superstar playing at this high of a level and at the age that he's at right now is absolutely electric, and that's huge for that fan base and that franchise. But as you mentioned with Nashville too, that's a big win to have for a team that we thought would be red hot. We thought they'd be kind of on a Winnipeg-like run maybe, or a Minnesota-like start, but having that rough start and now being able to bounce back. But getting Marchessault, getting Stamkos, the guys you spent money on, involved in the scoring, having big games, they need that to continue. But that's a good win for them. So, like I said, the old man had it on Sunday.
They did. They sure did. It was great to see. And like I said, Stamkos and Ovechkin have had incredible careers. They're both Hall of Fame bound when their careers are over. But people were wondering, is the best days for both of them kind of behind them? There's been questions and rumblings about that from hockey pundits, hockey fans. Good to see them have nights like they did last night, no question. All right, we got the Monday card coming up, but it's a Manscaped Monday. So we will pause before we get into the Monday slate, and we will hear from our great sponsors, Manscaped. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Every man knows the unbeatable feeling of a fresh barbershop shave. What if I told you that you no longer have to wait weeks or months between appointments to experience it? Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using promo code Ice Guys for 20% off and free shipping. What makes this Chairman Pro stand out? Versatility, precision. It comes with 2 interchangeable blade heads. You have the skin-safe foil, 4-blade foil for that close, smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean. And if a clean shave isn't your style, that's okay. Switch to the skin-safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble looking sharp and polished. Both heads are designed with skin-safe technology to help reduce razor burn and irritation. The last thing you need is to get nicks and cuts and all that shit to really irritate your skin. This will leave your skin feeling smooth and comfortable after every shave, reducing redness or discomfort. And a standout feature that truly differentiates the Chairman Pro is the Flex Adjust technology to give you that superior shave by allowing both blades and the pivoting head to seamlessly adapt to the unique contours of your face, and is gentle on the neck area to help you maintain great contact with your skin at every angle. If you want even more precision, there's a precision lock. When you lock it, the blade head sits firm so you can achieve a more precise shave. The Chairman is Pro is waterproof as well. You can use it in the shower. And the waterproof feature doesn't just make shaving easier, it also simplifies cleanup too. Just a quick rinse under the sink and you're all set. The Chairman Pro isn't just for daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle up to 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. And up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, you can take your time getting the perfect shave. It even has a travel lock to help make sure it doesn't accidentally turn on when you've got it in your bag when you're on the go. Get the Chairman Pro today. It is worth it, and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code IceGuys at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code IceGuys at manscaped.com. All right, Manscaped Monday. We thank them, great sponsors of the show, and the Chairman Pro is indeed worth it. All right, let's get into Monday's slate. We've got 6 games, and we'll begin with Columbus and Boston. Bruins struggling. Can they turn it around? Columbus minus 200 road favorites, 6 the total. This had better damn well be the spot they turn it around and get a win, because if it doesn't happen for the Boston Bruins tonight in this game, shit's going to hit the fan. It really is, because this is a team, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of rumblings, there's a lot of strife, there's a lot of tension going on with this hockey team. Clearly, by the way, we had that wrong. There we go. Columbus is not the minus 200 favorite. Boston is. We'd be taking a good position on Boston if they were plus 170 in this game, even with their recent struggles. But that being said, I don't want to touch Boston right now. I want to see what they do tonight. It's not like I'm in a rush to bet Columbus here. This is a team that's having their own issues at this point in time. The Jackets are just 1-7 in their last 8 games, and the only victory was against the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's not saying a whole lot right now. They're coming off a 5-1 drubbing at the hands of the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday night, which was a tough spot for them. We'll see how they fare here tonight. Columbus trying to bounce back. Boston, as we've talked about, it's just been a rough go. 8-11 on the season, and 5-5 here at TD Garden. You know, they have just been not that great home team, consistent home team that we have seen. Problem is the team, if you want to trust Columbus here and take a shot, and I actually did look at Columbus plus the price, just because I thought I got to see if maybe I can take a shot here against Boston at this kind of price. The Jackets are 1-8 on the road. I mean, it's just been they've been absolutely terrible away from Nationwide Arena. So that is definitely concerning. When you look at the Columbus Blue Jackets, even in the one victory they had against Pittsburgh 6-2 on Friday night, still giving up too many goals lately. They've given up 4 or more in 4 of the last 5 games. Does that mean the Bruins maybe can get some of their offense going. Of course, for the Bruins, they've been kind of up and down, erratic, all over the place as far as their own offensive game is concerned. As far as goaltending, we've got confirmation of Merzlikins in net for Columbus. Jeremy Swayman getting the start for the Bruins. And let's not forget the impact of Hampus Lindholm. Jimmy Murphy was on recently with us and said Hampus Lindholm's been their best defenseman, and it hasn't even been close. And you see without him, the way the Bruins have played, it hasn't been great. In fact, I don't think they've won since he got injured, quite honestly. I think it was the St. Louis game where they got injured. He left that game. They won that game. But I'm talking about a game that he started and finished. They're 0-2, without Hampus Lindholm. So, this is one of those deals where I want to go against Boston laying a price like this. I just don't know if Columbus is the team I want to do it with. So I'm on the fence, but at this price, I could only take a shot with the Jackets. But again, we're talking about a 1-win road team. And Boston, they should be chomping at the bit. They should be focused. They should be taking Columbus seriously. You can't slough off any games against any team right now, given the way you're playing. So it's probably a game I'm going to end up staying off. But at this price, you could only get me to bet Columbus. What do you think here, Alex? Jackets, Bruins.
Yeah, I was shopping around and looking because I'm trying to find the market for first coach fired. And I would suggest if you like Columbus in this spot, maybe you grab some Jim Montgomery first coach fired at this point, because this could be that game that breaks the camel's back. And we'll talk about another game later that could be in the same spot. Some of the chat mentioned it. Like I said, this has to be a turnaround spot for Boston. This is a team you've dominated over the years. You're at home. There's no more bullshitting, no more pussyfooting around. You got to take care of business. And this should be a big blowout win for Boston, but I don't trust them to show up in this spot. I don't know if they have what it takes to blow out Columbus or even play a quality, solid game. But I don't trust Columbus with their road record. And this team, we know how bad they are. Okay, like there's a reason I have in pocket Columbus worst record bet. So not taking plus 170. That's not enough value for me to even try to fade. But like I said, if you do like Columbus, you think they could pull the upset here, grab some Jim Montgomery first coach fired, because if Columbus wins this thing 4-2, 5-2. That might be enough to get things rolling to where they give Montgomery his walking papers.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely on thin ice right now and feeling it as far as on the hot seat. There's no question about that. And we'll see if how that plays out. But he's right up there. There's no doubt. As Mike Sullivan is another one. Even Derek Lalonde, I'm seeing his name starting to pop up a little bit. That he is, maybe starting to get hot. That seat for him in Detroit, is starting to get hotter and hotter, especially with this, road trip that has not started well for them, and they continue it tonight. And there's another case where they're like Boston West right now. Detroit, well, they're in the East, I should say, but they're out West. I mean, right now. But that if Boston doesn't win tonight, shit might hit the fan. If Detroit doesn't win tonight, shit might hit the fan for them. As well. There's no question. But I think when you look at this spot, like I said, Jackets are past, but I mean, one road win, and the only win lately has been against Pittsburgh at home. I mean, this should be like Boston's still the better team. You got to get the job done here. We'll see if they can, but I want no part of it. All right, next up, we've got Colorado and Philadelphia. Colorado minus 190 road favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Flyers, couple of wins in a row. Nice performances. Torts getting the Flyers in a bit of a mini heater, I guess you could say. 4-1 in their last 5 games. Wins against Tampa, San Jose, Ottawa, Buffalo. Now, San Jose, we know what San Jose is. Ottawa's up and down. Buffalo's up and down. So, those good wins, but, not the greatest competition. But beating Tampa Bay in a shootout, and taking Florida to a shootout and playing very well against the Panthers. And if you look at the shots on goal, they outshot the Panthers 37-31. They played that game very even. So Flyers are actually playing some nice hockey here just in the short term. Some of their best hockey all year. I think what's been a big difference maker for the Flyers too is we're finally starting to get multiple producers offensively. The young Russian, Mishkov, I like what I've seen from him. He has responded big time to the benching by Torts. He missed those 2 games in Florida. That's when Torts benched him. He has come back with 5 points and 2 goals in the 3 games since the benching for the Philadelphia Flyers. So Mishkov's been great. He's probably a good prop look tonight in this game once again for the Philadelphia Flyers. How about Anthony Richard? The way he's played. 2 goals 6 points in 4 games coming into tonight for this Flyers team. He has given them a spark. He's given them a jolt offensively. I mean, Torts has already got that guy on the power play for this team. Meanwhile, you got Forster. You got Bobby Brink suddenly, someone that is starting to get some offense going for them as well. This is what the Flyers need. Too much sometimes is put on the shoulders of Konechny, and a lot of times they don't get enough contributions up and down the lineup. They're getting that right now. So why is Philly 4-1 in their last 5 games? It's actually been because of their offense, because their goaltending is still erratic. They're still waiting for Ivan Fedotov to become more consistent, although to his credit, he is playing a little bit better the last few games. He's had few of his better starts recently, but no Fedotov tonight in net for the Philadelphia Flyers. It'll be Alexei Kolosov getting the start because Erson's still on IR, so we're not going to see him. They're not going to go with Fedotov tonight because I'm trying to see if they don't play tomorrow night. This is just a decision. You know what? Let's go to Kolosov, maybe give Fedotov, not overwork him too much, not play him too many consecutive games in a row. Colorado has not confirmed their goalie yet, but we know Alexander Georgiev right now is currently on IR for this team, which means we're led to believe it's probably going to be Justus Annunen here once again for the Avs, who, after a great run when he first got those consecutive starts in a row late October, suddenly we've seen 4 goals allowed for Annunen in the last 4 starts, so not nearly as effective in recent games. Philly's scoring right now. Colorado, we know, with Lehkonen back, Drouin back, Big Val Nichushkin back. That's a team that has certainly seen a shot in the arm as far as offense is concerned, getting all these key cogs back in the lineup for them. No doubt. They're still without Ross Colton, who had been pretty good for them, but they are starting to get much, much healthier up front, as we know, and that's significant for them. So with our guy Kolosov in net, he's basically been someone we've talked about a lot as it's in the similar vein as Fedotov, where not a guy we trust. Although, like I said, Fedotov's been a little bit better the last few starts. Kolosov 0-3, 3.93 goals against average, 863 save percentage here for Kolosov in his first 3 NHL appearances this year with the Flyers. He has given up 11 goals on 80 shots this year for the Flyers. So for me, this is over by Fecta, quite honestly. Over 1.5, over 6.5. Colorado should score, I think, tonight. And I know Torts preaches defense, but they have given up at least a couple of goals. And with all due respect to the Buffaloes and Ottawas and San Jose's, who scored 2, 4, and 3 against Philly, Colorado with the healthier forward group right now, as healthy as they've been in a long time, with Big Val back, with Drouin back, with Lehkonen back to join Nate and Mikko and everyone else they have. That's a lot more potency they have now on offense up front. So I think they score tonight against Kolosov. Don't put it off. Fade Kolosov. Remember that jingle? Don't forget it. It doesn't change until I see some better play from him. But Philadelphia has perked up offensively too, and we've seen Annunen kind of struggle a bit more the last few starts. So I think the Flyers are capable of contributing to this over as well, especially on home ice. So it's an over by Fecta here for me with the Avs and the Flyers. Alex, what do you think here? Colorado, Philly.
This is an over trifecta for me, but I'm doing it differently. I'm going to be going with the first period over and full game overs in game. Got first period, both teams to score plus 164 pregame. And I also took a shot at BetMGM. I have Avalanche to win with over 5.5 plus 140. So that's my pregame look at the over, grabbing the 5.5 tie with Colorado. Both teams to score in the first period plus 164 pregame. And I'll be looking for first period and full game overlooks in game.
And just to bolster our case with these overs, 6-1 to the over in the last 7 head-to-head meetings with Colorado and Philly. And the last 4 meetings in Philadelphia, scores were 6-3, 7-5, 5-3, 7-4. Think about that. And a lot of these were with some weak Philly offenses. Weak production offensively in some of these matchups from the Flyers standpoint. And yet the last 4 meetings between the Avs and the Flyers in Philadelphia, 6-3, 7-5, 5-3, 7-4 were the final scores in those games. So nothing but overs. Alex and I liking them here tonight. All right, next up we've got It's on Monday. It's only on Prime. There's my John Forsland voice. That's actually not bad. It actually sounded like him right at the end. Edmonton and Montreal. Edmonton minus 270 road favorites. 6.5 being the total in this game. This is the Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey game on the Amazon Prime in Canada. Probably Edmonton wins, right? They are off the frustrating loss to Toronto in overtime. That was a great hockey game, by the way. Oilers and Leafs on Saturday. It was a hell of a game. It lived up to the billing that you expect when it's Oilers Leafs. Edmonton lost a tough one. They also lost Darnell Nurse too. And by the way, Ryan Reeves got the 5-game suspension for that hit on Darnell Nurse from that game on Saturday night. Darnell Nurse is out. Victor Arvidsson remains out. So a couple of injuries here for the Edmonton Oilers. Calvin Pickard is going to get the start here in net. They continue to alternate quite a bit lately. Chris Knobloch, him, and Skinner. I guess trying to keep Skinner in particular, not wear him out, not wear him down throughout the course of the regular season. Sam Montembeault will get the start here for Montreal. One of his better games in a while. Saturday night, the 5-1 win against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, you could say that was one of his better nights, or you could just say Columbus has been a little bit offensively challenged as well in recent games. So you could look at it that way as well. You look at the series history between these two teams, and, Montreal has won a couple of games. They won in Edmonton a couple of years ago. They did win in Montreal last year when Edmonton made the trip here. And you look at the last two Edmonton victories, actually it was 2 years ago. Last year, both wins for Edmonton were in overtime. A 2-1 win in Montreal, a 3-2 win at home against Montreal. So Montreal did push this Edmonton team quite a bit last season. I'm going to just go with Edmonton team total here. Over 3.5 is a decent price, minus 135, minus 140. Keep in mind that even before that 5-1 win for Montreal against Columbus, and they actually gave up just 3 to Minnesota when they got shut out by the Wild. But let's not forget, before that, they had gone on a pretty strong run of giving up at least 4 goals in the majority of their games. And with all due respect to Minnesota, when Minnesota gets a lead, sometimes they just like to tighten things up and shut it down, and they did. And then Columbus is scuffling offensively right now. I don't know if I mentioned this when we talked Columbus-Boston, but outside of the 6 goals against Pittsburgh, Columbus is on a streak, Alex, where they have scored 8 of their last 9 games, 2 goals or less, Columbus. So they have really had a hard time putting the puck in the net. So take that 5-1 win with a grain of salt for Montreal. Is that a sign that Marty St. Louis got this team turned around defensively? I've got to see a lot more, and I've certainly got to see it tonight against an Edmonton team coming off a loss that certainly has the propensity to fill the net more than Columbus does right now. So, yeah, I'm going to bet a small, nothing significant. Don't love the game or the price, but a small Edmonton team total here, over 3.5. Actually, crazy as it is to say, I'm on that Oilers team total over. I might even sprinkle on that draw, just because of the price you're getting and because of the fact, look, both games went to overtime last year. It's Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey. It's Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl coming into town. I think that's enough to stoke the fires of some kind of solid effort for the Montreal Canadiens here at home. So I probably will sprinkle on the draw along with that Oilers team total. Alex, what do you think here, Oilers Habs?
Yeah, you got a matchup where the last 2 meetings have gone past regulation, and a team in Edmonton where they've gone 3 in a row past regulation. There's no brainer for me at plus 430. Definitely grabbing the draw here. But that's the only thing that I have. Like I said, obviously with that Edmonton, it's that high of a price. Not siding with anything there, but it could be a close enough game where maybe we look for something in game. Maybe the Habs take a little bit of a lead early. We can get a better price on Edmonton. Even with the team total looks, you could maybe find something in game. So just to draw pregame, nothing, and then maybe looking for something live.
No doubt. As far as the props tonight in this game are concerned, I would continue to consider for Edmonton right now. You look at their lineup. They got Podkolzin, Draisaitl, and Perry still. Perry, I think, as long as he stays up there, it's worth a look for him at the moment. So keep an eye on that. Looks like on the blue line for the Edmonton Oilers tonight, Josh Brown is going to draw in to the lineup. Josh Brown looks like he's going to be the one jumping in. Travis Dermott's there as well. Ty Emberson's actually played well for them. That Ty Emberson, I've been impressed with him. So there's someone that the Oilers in their prospect system gotten to step up, and he certainly has done that for sure. So good to see for this team. But Ty Emberson, like I said, I've been impressed. It is going to be, I believe, yes, Josh Brown is the guy because he just got called up from Bakersfield. And Josh Brown can drop the gloves. He's been in he's been in a couple dandy fights over the years. And you know what? You know what I'm thinking now that I see that Josh Brown is going to be that defenseman entering the lineup, replacing Darnell Nurse for Edmonton. It's got me thinking maybe we see an Arbor Jackeye Josh Brown duel tonight in Montreal. Possibility is there anyway for that. That would be pretty cool for someone that likes fights. That would be, I'd be interested to see that. All right, Anaheim and Dallas. We've got Dallas minus 450 home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. This is Klein, believe it or not, because this opened minus 360 with Dallas. We're talking about almost a full dollar move, 90 cents at least in the direction of Dallas. So people are just not giving Anaheim even a puncher's chance, in this game against the Dallas Stars. But then again, when you look at the series history, at 10 meetings, and it's 9-1 for Dallas over Anaheim. And the only win for Anaheim was at Honda Center, January of 2023, 2-0. You can understand why not a lot of people are believing Anaheim's going to win this game here tonight. For Dallas, this has definitely been their best stretch of hockey of the season. Really, it was the Winnipeg loss that clearly the team rallied around it, and as to say, our game is just not where it should be, where it needs to be. And we have seen 3-0 for Dallas since that loss to the Jets, and commanding victories in dominant blowout fashion against Pittsburgh and Boston, albeit two struggling teams. They played a very good Minnesota team that's played well so far this season, and they had to grind that one out, and they did, 2-1. And in fact, I thought they dominated that game. 40-23 were the shots in favor of the Dallas Stars. But it was a good goaltending performance by Phil Gustafson, to give Dallas a chance, or Minnesota a chance in that game. You look at Dallas's schedule. They have San Jose at home on Wednesday, so it's not a look ahead of any kind. Then they start a road trip against Tampa and Carolina. San Jose has showed me some guts. San Jose has showed me a quality effort most nights. Anaheim, it's been tough. That being said, they did come back and they beat Detroit 6-4 the other night. But Red Wings have issues. It's one of those deals where I think I'm chalking that up to more. Yeah, Detroit's got some major problems right now, more than it's, wow, Anaheim, look what they did. Look at the positive this is by the Anaheim Ducks. So we'll see how this one plays out. Dallas rolling along, but you're not going to get me to get involved at minus 450 with them. Even if you want Dallas team total, it's bumped up to 4.5 tonight. So can't even go there in that direction with that. Do I trust Anaheim enough as far as maybe a draw at a great price? I will say this about the draw. I'm not going to say I'm going to bet it, but it's a hell of a price. And the last two times Dallas has hosted Anaheim, they did need overtime or a shootout to beat them. That is something to consider. What is that draw price? I see that Dallas, the last two times they've hosted Anaheim.
Plus 500.
Yeah, I got a couple bucks. Don't go nuts. I don't like this draw as much as Montreal or some of the others we've mentioned in recent days, but plus 500 when each of the last two meetings, Ducks versus Stars and Dallas, have gone to overtime. Yeah, we got to dabble in that for at least a little lunch money at the very least. Alex, what do you think here? Anaheim, Dallas.
I mean, I'm just looking at the history. Not only two of the last four, but you've got three of the last four meetings decided by one goal.
I think I was on one of those draws last year, believe it or not.
I feel like I was as well.
I feel like I was,
yeah.
Yep.
I think there was a Sunday game between these two that went to overtime, one of those. So definitely at plus 500, like you said, I don't like this as nearly as much as Oilers and Habs, but at 5-1, yeah, you got to have some of this in pocket. So just a small shot on the draw, nothing else.
Yeah, this is one of those principal bets where if somehow this cashes and I didn't bet it, I'm not going to be happy. So for that reason, I've got to put a couple of bucks on that. Yeah, Anaheim.
It's like if we ever see an over 5. Remember when the over 5s were still around before they went obsolete? We were just like, okay, we're just betting over 5s. We're laying 130 with over 5 because we know we may never see it again. I haven't seen an over 5 in 4 years, 5 years. So it's one of those things. At plus 500, you have to bet a draw.
And you are getting Kate. No disrespect to Kate. Actually, I shouldn't disrespect Casey DeSmith. He's played very well this year for the Dallas Stars, but we are getting Casey DeSmith in net tonight for the Dallas Stars in this game. 1.79 goals against, 929 save percentage. He's been great. still, obviously Ottinger's the number one. And I don't know if he's going to sustain that throughout the course of the season. But so far, Casey DeSmith has played very well in a backup role. We should see Dostal, which is clearly the best goalie Anaheim has as well here in this game. Still some injuries, though, for Anaheim. Dallas is fully healthy. How about that? Pete DeBoer has not a single player on his injury report right now. A fully healthy squad, which you don't always see. Anaheim, meanwhile, Fabry, Cam Fowler, Mason McTavish, still all on the IR for them right now. Damon Williams liking Ducks first period money line. Quack, quack. Wow, bold. I don't know if I trust them to win the game the way Dallas is playing right now, but like I said, they did take Dallas to overtime 2 times in a row here at AAC, American Airlines Center. So that's why that plus 500, I'll dabble in that, given what we've seen recently. All right, what we've seen recently from the Washington Capitals is damn good hockey. They continue to play it, and they will take on the Utah Hockey Club here tonight in this game. We've got even money, pretty much, minus 110, both sides, 6.5 the total here in this game. Of course, the big win in Vegas last night for this Capitals team, getting the job done against the Golden Knights 5-2, the Ovi hat trick. This is not a Washington spot, though. I was on them last night for a little bit. I love them against Colorado when Carberry chewed them out, I should say, for that loss to Toronto, for the bad finish there. And they responded, and they played a hell of a great game against Colorado. They played well again last night, but this back-to-back, third road game in 4 nights with time zone travel, but 1 time zone over. You're going Pacific. You went from Mountain to Pacific, now back to Mountain time zone again against Utah. 3rd and 4 nights, back-to-back, the thin air and altitude, too, on a back-to-back. We talk about this spot with Colorado with road teams, when they're on the back-to-back and the altitude. That's a negative, and that's what it is here for Washington. It's what it is for teams now in Utah as well when you play there on the second night of a back-to-back on the road and 3rd and 4 nights. As much as we love Ovi, and we're talking about what a marvel he is at 39-year-old players playing back-to-back in thin air altitude and third night game in 4 nights on the road in thin air altitudes. Not ideal. Let's put it that way. So I don't know if you're going to get Washington's best here tonight, but I'm not going against them. It's definitely a Utah spot. Spot alone is not enough to get me to go against Washington right now. I like what I see. I'm not on Washington tonight because of that spot, but I'm telling you what, just if you're going to look at this price and say, what would you take at this price right now, given the form of these two teams, it would undoubtedly be Washington. But I'm not on Washington tonight because of the spot, because of the situation. 3rd and 4, back-to-back, altitude, the whole bit. So it's a pass for me, but you won't see me with an anti-Capitals ticket right now. Alex, what do you think here, Caps and the Utah Hockey Club?
The angle is a bang-on play for Utah, but the price isn't. I would need to be getting Utah plus money still with those angles. Plus 105, plus 110. If we're laying 110, laying 105, the way Washington's playing right now, I can't go against them. I'm on Washington because I grabbed minus 105 earlier, knowing that price would go up. It's probably closes at $1.15, $1.20 before puck drop because everybody just seeing, like I said, Ovechkin and the Capitals are a public team as far as NHL betting is concerned. So I don't expect that number to hold in a pick 'em range. So if you like Washington, I'd say grab it now. If you like Utah, you could probably wait until closer to puck drop. But I think, like I said, it's not the ideal spot for Washington, but the way that they're playing right now, I think you can go past it. The key note to look at is the next game they play. Go back home, have a couple of days off, and they play Colorado again. I think that's a good revenge spot. So that's what I have circled. I'm on Washington tonight, but I'm looking to fade them down the road later this week.
There's going to be a point where they're going to regress a little bit. They're going to have a bump in the road at some point because no team is going to just roll through the regular season start to finish without adversity and a bad run. Every team's going to go through it. Washington will have theirs, but right now I'm a little reluctant at this point in time to go in with that. Washington's been trending over. It's a weird game because Washington's been heavily trending over the total as far as totals are concerned. There's no question. We've seen 4 straight go over, 4 straight with at least 7 goals. Utah, not so much, though, lately. Utah 6-2-2 to the under in their last 10 games, and no game has gone above 6 goals for them now in 5 straight. But this would be one where first period over, by the way, has not been good for Utah lately. This would be one where if I take the over, it would be full game only. And actually, you know what? I have 6.5 here up on the screen. There are a couple sixes out there starting to show. If I can find a 6, I'll bet a little small full game over. Because again, you would think as the game goes on, pace maybe gets to Washington a bit because of all the travel and all the games and the thin air, and then it just opens up as far as goals later in the game as opposed to early.
I did grab it over 1.5 minus 130 with the first period over this morning. Once again, also because I knew that number would move. I'm seeing, like I said, 136s, 140s, 145s. No reason to play that now at this point. I would wait for both first period and full game overs in game. So those are two things I'll be circling.
Yeah, that's a good point there in the chat by actually I'll do you one better. Candace in the chat, Candace Reynolds saying Ovi only played 15 minutes. We'll go one better and say that actually he played 14, didn't even play 15 minutes last night. 14:53 time on ice for him last night against Vegas. So it's pretty good. You know, it keeps him at least as fresh as you could ask for a 39-year-old guy on a back-to-back and thin air altitude and
hey, if
4 nights.
If he's scoring 3 goals in 15 minutes of ice time, then that's fine. Like, obviously, you don't need him to play 25. Like, okay, that if you can manage that, keep him fresh, and he still produces, and that's all you need.
Yeah, there's no question. So, like I said, I get it. Not the greatest spot for Washington, but that's some really good hockey they're playing right now. We should see Charlie Lindgren tonight. I'm not sure. It hasn't been confirmed, but it will be him because it was Logan Thompson against his old team last night, who was very good once again. Connor Ingram expected in net for Utah tonight. And keep in mind, this has been Vejmelka here 2 starts in a row for the Utah Hockey Club. We haven't seen Connor Ingram in net since the Nashville game where they got shut out 4-0 by the Predators in that one. All right, final game of this Monday night NHL slate, Detroit Red Wings, and this feels like the Boston Bruins situation we mentioned earlier. We've got Detroit minus 145, road favorites, 6 the total in this game, where if Detroit doesn't win tonight on the road against this Sharks team, who's in a brutal spot here, quite honestly. They're coming all the way back from a pretty lengthy East Coast road trip. Shout out to Jason Demers, by the way, friend of the show. He did all the road games on the radio booth for the San Jose Sharks on that trip with Dan Rusanowski, who, by the way, I said this on Twitter X, everyone knows and remembers and loved and appreciated the great Dave Malinsky. Dan Rusanowski looks like a dead ringer to Dave Malinsky. Seriously.
Yeah.
There is a huge resemblance, in my opinion, especially with the glasses. That's what does it.
Yeah.
There's a big-time resemblance, Malinsky and Rusanowski. And they both have ski at the end of their names. So the similarities just speak for themselves. But when you look at Detroit and San Jose tonight, Ryan Warsofsky, I give him credit as far as this team doesn't quit and they're getting 60 minutes. He's getting 60 minutes from this hockey team right now. It's not always pretty. Are there breakdowns? Yes. Is there an occasional bad goal from Blackwood and Vanacek, the goalies? Yes. But what he is getting from this team is, look, their offense is perked up at least a little bit thanks to the returning Macklin Celebrini. And they've been multiple times on that road trip. I know 1-3 was the overall record on that road trip. The only win was against New Jersey, but they fought back to get 1 point against Philly when they were down 3-1, forced overtime, tied at 3-3, lost in a shootout. 1-goal game against the very solid Rangers team, very good Rangers team. And then against Pittsburgh, look, not the greatest look losing to Pittsburgh, but it was Pittsburgh at home off a bad loss. And they were down 3-1 in that 3-0 in that game. They come back, tie the game, and they force a shootout before losing to the Penguins. So there is no quit in this Sharks team. And that is on the coach to get that work ethic from his club. And right now, Ryan Warsofsky is getting that from San Jose. So you got to give credit. I don't know. I must have had too many drinks last night. I'm getting the prices wrong. I'm misspelling shit. There we go. Detroit, San Jose. Let's spell Sharks properly. There we go. That's better.
I didn't even notice it.
It's just, there you go. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? That is definitely not the way you spell Sharks. But look, I took a shot with Detroit laying a price against Anaheim, thinking, you know what, they got to get on a bit of a run here, start this road trip out west, and to blow that game against the Ducks 6-4, that's alarming. And that's what's going to keep me off Detroit here, because this is a game they got to have. You got San Jose in this ultimately tough spot. This is a spot that San Jose has been terrible in for years, for decade even. You know, you go back to when they were really good, you know, when Joe Thornton and Patty Marleau and young and in his prime Logan Couture was here. and Brent Burns was a Shark for a bit. All these guys were here and they were in the playoffs, and they'd still be terrible returning home off an East Coast road trip. They were always bad in this spot, San Jose. There's no question about that. Can Detroit right the ship? I'm with Robert. If I were to take Detroit, that's the pathway. That's the pathway. It would be team total. I can't lay minus 145. Plus, the one thing about the Anaheim game is the team total cashed. They did score 4 goals in that game, even though they lost. So don't fret about the defense. And Detroit continues to struggle at times in their own end. There's no doubt. If you like Detroit, take the team total. I lean Detroit. It's just such a tough spot for San Jose. But if I were to bet it, I probably will bet a small team total plus price on Detroit, but not the money line because I don't trust them defensively. And for that reason, I like this over as well. I think San Jose coming off the road trip, it's going to be a little bit messy for them defensively, sloppy play. I mean, that was a pretty long road trip. You're coming all the way back now from the end of that trip against Pittsburgh. Like I said, it's not easy. And you know what makes matters worse, too, going into this game for the San Jose Sharks is the condensed nature of that trip. 10th, 11th, 14th, and 16th of November were those 4 games, Jersey, Flyers, Rangers, Penguins. And this now, when you add it up and do the math here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be their 5th game in 9 nights, all with travel and extensive travel following the game in Pittsburgh. So I think it gets a little sloppy for the Sharks tonight. So I'm going to do a split with small Red Wings team total over. I like the full game over even more because it wouldn't shock me with the way the Red Wings are having some issues now at the back end. And we should see Talbot in net for Detroit, but not confirmed. Mackenzie Blackwood almost assuredly will be in net for San Jose because Vanacek's on IR. Vanacek left the last game due to injury, and there's no telling if he'll be available tonight for San Jose, to the point where if he's not available tonight, there's rumblings they might have to call up Askarov, the prospect from the AHL. So it looks like it's going to be Blackwood tonight. So a little Red Wings team total over. I like the full game over 6, even more than that, though, for this Red Wings and Sharks game. Alex, what do you think here, Detroit, San Jose?
So, yeah, this morning I grabbed draw plus 360, and I thought that this might be a spot where I'm like, okay, maybe I could try and grab a little bit of Detroit. Like you said, this is because it's such a bad spot for San Jose. But at 145, 150, 155, I couldn't bring myself to have chalk and draw. So I do have a little bit of the draw, but what I'm going to do now is also go over 6. Lay the $1.10, and I'm going to take a shot that 60-minute correct score. I'm going to go 4-4 draw after 60 minutes plus 2,400 at FanDuel. So those are my 3 looks going over. We got a little small sprinkle on the draw, and then an even smaller sprinkle on the long shot, that 24-1 that is tied at 4 after 60 minutes.
Yeah, we've seen 2 overs last year, Red Wings versus Sharks, head-to-head. 5-3 Detroit in San Jose last January, and then December last year in Detroit, it was 6-5 Sharks in overtime. I remember that game because I know Detroit was struggling at that time. San Jose was on this crazy run of, just like they are now, being very competitive every single night, and they jumped up and the Sharks bit last night, or that game last December, 6-5 in overtime, beating the Detroit Red Wings. So 2 overs last year head-to-head, and I definitely like the spot. Makes sense for there to be kind of, like I said, maybe a lackadaisical defensive game. Well, first of all, Detroit's not struggled a lot this year defensively, but I think even San Jose coming off the road trip and a Detroit team that might have a little extra sense of urgency, I think their defensive game will be a little suspect here. First game after such a lot of travel that they've had in the last 9 days. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. A reminder, tomorrow night is the night. It's our November live betcast coming up. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a great NHL card tomorrow night. We've got Winnipeg and Florida, of course, the headliner, the rematch of the game Saturday in Florida. Now they're back in Winnipeg. Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, Edmonton, Ottawa, all Canadian matchup tomorrow night as well. We've got Alex's Blackhawks are in action. Islanders, Flames, Rangers, Canucks, pretty solid late game as well. So looking forward to the card tomorrow night, November 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the betcast, and we will send you the link for it before it begins tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 19th. Get your drinks ready. Live betting, commentary, so much fun just hanging, chilling with our viewing and listening audience. So make sure you join us for the betcast tomorrow night and join us as a Patreon member if you haven't already. $10 per month, goalie charts, totals charts, bonus content, exclusive live betcast later in the season for Patreon members only, and of course the daily betting card posted each and every day, sides, totals, and player props. $10 per month, patreon.com/Ice Guys.
Yeah, and tomorrow we will be announcing this new giveaway that we're doing. Working with Boston Hemp Incorporated, doing a little holiday giveaway. So details and all that will be released tomorrow. And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got everything in stock right now, all the T-shirts, caps, hoodies, mugs, and more that's available right now at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you check out that store, and again, get the gear and the merch there. I forgot to mention too, one couple props with Detroit tonight. Raymond and Berggren. Talk about those two guys in particular, and Berggren in particular, who's someone that had a really rough start to the season offensively, but slowly but surely maybe starting to show a little bit of signs of getting things going a little bit for Detroit. So as far as props, definitely interested in that regard. Sam, that remains to be seen, but definitely he back home might be able to find the back of the net here for the San Jose Sharks in this game. Right, good stuff. Special of the night and best bets coming up in just a moment. Right, we hear from our good friends, just as Alex talked about, the giveaway coming up with Boston Hemp Inc. We will hear from them in just a moment. We got the screen frozen here. Everybody, see if we can get this done.
Yeah, there's some issues on my end too, so I'm hearing it.
Get this.
You might have to close some windows, Ian.
Yeah, exactly. Give us 1 sec here. We'll see if we can. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Too many.
All right, I think he froze and he's coming back in, so just waiting for that. But yeah, we would like I said, have more details on that contest giveaway. Someone in the chat asking, yes, free. We will have some free product that would be given away in this contest, so we'll have all the setup and stuff ready, and that'll be listed first, of course, on Patreon, but it'll be open to everybody. It's an open contest. Of course, the contest will be open for people here in the United States, not available in Canada. All those details will be available tomorrow as we do the rundown. But yes, we are doing
Nick Alvento nailed it. It's those ads on RotoWire, which I always have open for every show. And they've got these flash player type deals too, running in the background, ads running in the background, and it just totally grinds the whole machine that I'm using down. And that's when it locks up like it just did. So that's what caused it. But we're back, and we are ready to talk bargain bin special tonight and best bets coming up in just a moment. But first, it's Monday, which means it's Solid Fire Monday. Time to hear from our good friends at Boston Hemp. All right, Boston Hemp Inc. Check them out. And again, 20% off all orders on the website using the promo code ICEGUYS at bostonhempinc.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night. Alex, where are you headed for the bargain bin?
Let's head to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You got the Flyers taking on the Colorado Avalanche. We expect goals here. You got a couple of mid-range to bad backup goalies in net. So I'm looking for goals from Colorado. And I think Logan O'Connor might be a good look. Plus 500 available at FanDuel. Anytime goal. If anyone can, O'Connor can. So we go with Colorado's Logan O'Connor. Plus 500. Anytime goal scorer. That's my bargain special tonight.
All right, there we go. Logan O'Connor for the Colorado Avalanche for Alex B. Smith with his bargain bin special of the night. My bargain bin special, couple of choices. There's a few that not as many as some of the cards have been as far as a bargain bin special of the night, but there are a few that do pique my interest. And I'm going to go to the young rookie in Philly, Matvei Michkov for the Philadelphia Flyers. He has responded to his benching from John Tortorella the right way. He didn't sulk. He didn't pout. he didn't mope around, woe is me. He came back and he said, I'm going to become a better player because of this. He has been terrific since coming back into the lineup. He has clearly responded positively to constructive coaching. Sometimes the benching is required, but sometimes young kids don't want to hear it, don't want to deal with it, and look at it as, hey, the coach hates me. No, sometimes the coach just wants to make you a better player. That's what it really is. And Mishkov has responded the right way. He's been very much better defensively, and that's also what Torts was looking for him after the sitting him out for a couple of games there. So Matvei Mishkov, Philadelphia Flyers plus 370 at FanDuel. That is what we will go with for bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, we're going to head out to Utah. We got the Caps taking on the hockey club. I like that first period over here. Like I said, could be a tough, tricky spot for Washington with their legs under them, that kind of travel. If that's the case, then Utah should be able to jump out and kind of get over their woes of scoring early in the games. If not, if it's the usual old hat for Washington, that means we're going to see them scoring in the first period. But either way, I like 2 or more goals here in the first 20 minutes. Washington, Utah, first period over 1.5. You get minus 130 available at Caesars.
There you go. First period over for the Washington Capitals and the Utah Hockey Club. Best bet for Alex B. Smith. And my best bet, there are a couple sixes, including at DraftKings. So, and that's actually the number I got, and I laid a little price with it. I laid minus 125 when I got on this. It's minus 135 at DraftKings. A lot of books have 6.5 with this total, but we're going to go with Colorado, Philadelphia, over 6. Minus 135, I should say, at DraftKings is the price there now. Rather, I don't mind recommending that price to get the 6. It's always beneficial, in my opinion. So, yeah, over 6, minus 135. Full game over with the Colorado Avalanche and the Philadelphia Flyers. Colorado is much healthier offensively. We're seeing that. Onanen has taken a bit of a step back in recent starts. I don't trust Kolosov in net for Philadelphia. But meanwhile, look at the Flyers suddenly putting the puck in the net, producing offensively, not to mention a strong over-series history between the Avs and Flyers, and 4 straight meetings in Philadelphia between these teams have gone over the total. So Colorado, Philadelphia, over 6 for my best bet for this Monday NHL card. That's a wrap. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Betcast tomorrow night. It's a doubleheader for the Ice Guys, our daily show, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, we've got the Betcast, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you join us for that. I thought of coming back to Protus, James Mitchell with the bargain bin. We had him last night, but decided let's do something different. I do like Mishkov tonight in that game. Great stuff. Another great show in the books. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Tuesday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Tuesday, a big Tuesday ahead. Daily show and the Betcast coming your way Tuesday right here on the Ice Guys.